Hi, my name is Cher Anderton. I am an elementary school counselor. I'm a mental health therapist. I've been trained as a positive discipline parent educator, and I'm the mom of 4 kids, including a kiddo that we adopted from foster care when he was almost 8 years old. All that to say, I think parenting is the hardest job in the whole wide world. And I've learned a lot of little tips and tricks along the way that make it easier for me, and makes it easier on the kids, and helps our family flow most of the time. And so I wanted to kind of create an informal space where I could share those things, and I thought short YouTube videos might be the place. So this activity is called 2 lists. It's a positive discipline activity called 2 lists. And I might do an activity like this if I feel like my parenting partner and I aren't on the same page. If my parenting needs a bit of a reset because I'm kind of falling back on old techniques that aren't super helpful, or ways that I grew up that I was raised that aren't super helpful, and I don't really want to follow in those footsteps. Also, if you're feeling like you're not connecting with your kiddo, especially your teenager, and you're getting a lot of pushback from them, this would be a great activity to possibly help you guys get on the same page and have a reset. So the first thing that you're going to do is introduce it. Say that you want to do an activity that's going to focus on things that you're doing well, and then also areas that you feel like you could change, make some changes that you all agree on together. So what you're going to do is you're going to make 2 lists. The first list, you and your kids are going to focus on challenges that they're facing. This would be a great way for you if you feel like, there might be some challenges that you can anticipate that you see here on my list. And then there's some things that maybe your kiddo has a voice and can share with you some things that have been difficult for them lately. So this is a great way to make more connections with your kiddos. I have things like homework, friends, negative peer pressure, depression and anxiety. Social media is a big issue. Bullying. Parents, we can be part of the pressure, right? And part of the struggle and challenge. If you have teenagers, they're pretty, big feelers, and they might take on the weight of the world issues, things that are happening. Things going on around the nation as far as school shootings. That's been a big one in my household with teenagers in high school. Racism, we're a multiracial family, and so that is something that one of our kids experiences. And so creating this list together, maybe talking about them, unpacking some of them a little bit more to get to know your kid or kids a little bit better. And then here's where we're going to get to the strengths part. So the next list is going to be titled gifts. And so what you're going to focus on are gifts that you wish to bestow or on your kids by the time they leave your care. This would be a great place to point out the strengths that your kiddo is already exhibiting. Now, it might be easier to say you're kind most of the time. But this is, again, a strengths-based activity, meaning you're going to focus on what you are all doing well so that you have the energy and motivation to then turn your attention to areas of personal growth. It's really hard to feel like we have the energy and motivation to change and improve and do things differently if we're feeling like crap about ourselves. So some of the gifts that I wrote down on here: a sense of humor. I would love my kids to feel like they have the gift of sense of humor, that they can, when things are tough, that they can enjoy themselves and still have a sense of humor about life. Financial independence, yes please, double thumbs up on that. We'd love for them to be responsible, have social skills. Empathy, you might point out strength of your kiddo might be empathy or kindness, and so pointing out exact context where you've seen them show kindness and empathy. Again, they don't have to be perfect at it, you just need to be able to point it out and see it. Any of these character traits or skills that you would like your kid to develop or have before they leave your care. See if you can't point out ways that you have seen them exhibit these already. I'm going to point out at the bottom some really important things. Curiosity, having a curious mind is really healthy. Faith and spirituality, if that's something that you want your kids to develop. Self-compassion is huge. I'm a big proponent of self-compassion. We don't have enough of it. So making this list with your kiddo, letting them contribute things that they want to be, good at or be able to do well before they leave or have as a character trait before they leave your care. And then unpacking that a little bit, okay? So asking yourself and your kids, what are some of the things that we do to help you develop these character traits? And what are some of the things that you're doing to develop these character traits? And so pull a few things from the list. You can say, you mentioned the other day how your friend was having a hard time at home, and so you listened to them and then later brought them a Starbucks because you wanted to cheer them up, showing empathy. Thank you so much for driving your brother to basketball practice the other day. I really appreciate the help. That was very kind. Any way that you can point out where they're being compassionate to themselves, because that can often be really hard to see. And we can talk more about that later. I think that'll be another video on what that looks like. And seeing being able to talk about examples of where you've seen this and where they can point out where they've seen that in your parenting or what you're doing. If you want to raise responsible children, point out this is a really important thing for us. And so that is why we ask kids to contribute to helping the house stay clean, driving your brothers and sisters around, whatever it is, be able to tie and make those connections for your kids so that they can see that there's a method to your madness in your parenting, that you're not just asking them to pick up after themselves and do the dishes and have chores or responsibilities or turn in their homework on time and not procrastinate projects because you want to make their life miserable. That you are doing it because you want to teach them these skills. And so you might be able to pick something after you look at this list, and you could say, one of the things that we do that I don't feel like really connects to developing a certain gift is whatever. And you could say, I'm going to try really hard to not do that anymore. I will say that if you have this list posted in an area where everybody can see it often, it will be motivating and it can be really helpful for your parenting and then the way that they're also moving through life. Also, with these gifts, it's going to be hard to bestow them and help your kids develop them if you're not modeling them. So if you feel like you manage stress in a crappy way, you get really reactive, you get hyper-focused on drama or on the negative, then that might be something that you could work on changing so that you could model that to your kids and point it out. Say I don't manage my stress very well. I'm going to try to do things differently. And see if they start noticing over time and having that accountability with them, and then see what they can bring to the table. Oh, I complain all the time about my chores, so I'm going to try not to do that because I see that you're trying to teach me something that's important, right? So trying to make those connections to the big picture of the expectations that you have and the connections that you want to be making with them can be a really nice reset and just a nice jumping off point for some of the other things that other ways that you want to parent and to help you be the parent that you really want to be. Now, we can't be that all the time. I've had plenty of times where I have had all the good intentions in the world, and because I'm not managing my stress well, or because a lot of different things I'm feeling, usually it could be that I'm feeling incompetent or I don't really know what to do, so I do the wrong things. instead of stopping and thinking about it. I've had plenty of do-overs with my kids where I might have yelled, raised my voice, or said or done something that I later realized is not the way that I wanted to parent them. And I've gone back and said, I want to have a do-over. This is how I wish it had gone. And walk through the whole scenario and what you wish you had said and done instead. And kids can really appreciate that. Hearing an apology from you, it also models to them how they can make a repair when they make a mistake. And that's a gift in and of itself that I would assume you would want to bestow upon your kids. So leave comments below. Let me know if there's something that you wish you could see on this channel. Let me know if you just have any comments about the activity, what worked, what didn't work for you, and we can see if we can tweak that to help you and make it more useful for you. Take care.